This week, it's all about the Sugar Man, another Adam pick, clearly. So dig through those dollar bins because you're listening to a kind of garbage first in cameo podcast.
It's a kind of.
Welcome everyone to First in Cameo. Today we're talking about the marvelous Sugar Man. I'm Adam Bishop, and as always, I am joined by
Dan Collins.
Dan. How pumped are you for Sugar Man, a character that nobody knows about, nobody cares about except for me and you? I feel like you had to waste your own time to look up anything about Sugar Man.
Yeah, I was gonna make a whole bunch of sugar related jokes, but you just ruined everything by not even giving me an opening.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry. How sweet is the Sugar Man?
yes, how sweet is the Sugar Man? Jonesing for that Sugar Man. Sugar Man sucks, man.
Sugar Man's the best. I love the Sugar Man. I'm going to talk about my first introduction to this amazing character. It is from reading, I'm going to look at my shelf, the X-Men, The Complete Age of Apocalypse epic. So I never read the Age of Apocalypse storyline when I was younger. I was always aware of it. I had the Magneto action figure that I think Toy Biz put out back in the day. But I didn't really know about Sugar Man. Once I got the four epic collections, I read through them, and that's when I fell in love with Sugar Man. And yeah, my history with Sugar Man is going to comic book stores, asking for, I guess, like just different comic books. And then eventually I wound up at Comic Alley Toys and I saw all their Marvel figures. And I'm like, do you guys have Sugar Man? And they looked at me and they're like, what the fuck is Sugar Man? So I explained, it's this Marvel character, 4 arms, like really ugly. And then they go, oh my God, I think we do have that. So they dig it out of like a bin and they're like, this is him, right? I'm like, that's the Sugar Man. Yes, because Sugar Man only had one action figure and it was part of the mutants. What was it called? I don't know. It's like the mutated or mutants or monster mutants, I think, where you had like a beast monster, a Wolverine monster, a Sugar Man monster, and somebody else. I don't recall. But yeah, I got that Sugar Man from them. He didn't have the accessories, which is fine because it was like a hammer and an axe. And when you pulled the trigger on the back, I think he hissed or laughed, but that does not work. I opened up that figure, I cleaned out the battery compartment, put brand new batteries in it, and that was a no-go. So I assume that a kid or adult played with it in the bathtub and just ruined the electronics inside.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my history with the Sugar Man. I love this character. I have a nice fat stack in my comic book box of just issues that he appears in and either plays a role or he's on the cover. So I had the pick of the litter for this one from my personal comics, and I have 5 issues in front of me. And this is the first time I've owned all the comics that are on the list, especially for something that I picked, because I might have had all the Shatterstar comics. I had them all in front of me. I'm not going to open them because they're all bagged. I should have opened them, but I did browse through them a little bit beforehand.
Okay, so you said the pick of the litter. Well, I think Sugar Man is the runt of the litter.
Oh no, he's the little one that nobody wants.
So is his name Sugar Man or the Sugar Man or like what?
It's just Sugar Man. Let me look at the front. Okay, so I'm gonna look at one
First
of my
he walks into the DMV and he's like, yes, I need a license. First name Sugar, last name Man, please.
So on the front of one of the issues that I have that says his name, I have it as 2 words, Sugar Space Man, with a trademark after it as well. So Marvel went out of their way to trademark Sugar Man.
Because it's so important.
It is
it's
very
so important to get that trademark on this character.
Yeah, I'm also
God
looking.
Forbid.
Hasbro released it was sometime last year, an Age of Apocalypse wave of figures, and as you know, Sugar Man was the Build-A-Figure, and I was so stoked, and I have them on my shelf. I begged friends for their parts. I split on figures with them because I didn't need the figures. I just want the Sugar Man, and Mr. the Sugar Man is on that shelf, and he's beautiful.
Isn't this a really bizarre pick for the Build-A-Figure though? Like, shouldn't he have been one of the ones where, because like, what's the impetus to collect all the figures because you are the only Sugar Man fan in the entire world?
Yep. Well,
so like, why not have him just be the regular figure and the Build-A-Figure is like Wolverine or something cool?
Generally what happens with Build-A-Figures is they pick a big figure, and one of Sugar Man's powers, and I think it was a power over time, which is he can manipulate how like he can shrink or grow. And that was, from what I recall reading, it's only because when he was being drawn by different artists, it was a brand new character and they didn't know how big he was, so his size kept on changing, and they're just like, fuck it, it's his power. He can grow big, he can shrink down, like, because he doesn't use that power at all throughout the comics, except for a few examples where at one point, spoilers, he shrinks down to the size of, let's say, a mouse and hops inside of Colossus's boot. That way he doesn't get killed as the X-Men are fighting. Well, not, I guess it is the X-Men are fighting Magneto, or sorry, fighting Apocalypse himself.
I was just gonna say, as I was doing my research, like, was that what you were saying? Was that shown, or was that like retcon?
It was shown in the comics, so I don't even know if like that was like their intention, because what I remember reading is that his size, they just kept on getting it wrong, so they're like, he can grow and shrink, and then yeah, he goes into the boot. But like, I don't know if that was retcon, because it was part of the Age of Apocalypse epic, like the actual storyline that they did over the whatever amount of years back in the 90s.
Yeah, haven't read Age of Apocalypse, but I should.
Oh my god, it's literally one of my favorite storylines. Lots of talking, like lots of talking. At one point, I would say 33% of one page was just balloons coming off, like the word balloons coming off of Apocalypse, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, it's like a
Did
novel."
Bendis write this?
Uh,
He must have.
yeah, I have no idea who wrote it, but I like it. It's like, it's a great storyline. You got great characters, which turned into great action figures, because that's what the 90s was about, selling action figures.
And trading cards.
Oh, trading cards too. Oh my, I still have tons of Marvel trading cards, and the artwork is fantastic in some of them. The other ones, not so much.
I only have mostly DC trading cards left. I had almost a full set of like some of those ones that were really popular a few months ago. But when I went to go like look around the old basement storage, all the Marvel cards were gone, and all that was left was the DC cards. So I don't know what happened to them.
I do remember buying Superman cards at one point. I know why I bought them. They were widescreen cards. So
Ooh,
yeah,
widescreen.
2 cards tall were about the same size as 3 cards, like 3 standard cards.
Weird.
Yeah, I bought them and I was like, cool, and I put them in my binder and I was like, these are too big. Like, the width was perfect, but the height, you just had them on like the bottom row and they just covered up half of the card above them. You're just like, I guess this is what I wanted.
And then did they have their own special like sleeves and stuff that they were marketing for these widescreen cards? Was it all about the accessories to make you rebuy everything you already owned?
It's true. Well, if that was the plan, they would have had to make the cards a little bit bigger so you could buy new binders as well. But
Yeah.
that I don't recall. I bought them at Raiders of the Lost Arcade when it was in Lansdowne Place. And I was
Yes.
little, yeah, my
Love
favorite
it.
place.
Have memories of going up there on going to Raiders on my first period spare during grade 12 and playing what's the
I can name all the games that have been in that arcade.
racing game.
In the middle of the arcade, they had Cruis'n USA at one point.
It was Cruis'n USA,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
definitely.
in the back corner, they had Lucky and Wild, where one person was the driver and the shooter, and then the second player was just a shooter. So you always fought over who was going to be Lucky and who was going to be Wild.
I can't believe you have this memorized.
At the closest to the cash register was a Neo Geo arcade, which had 4 games in it. Next to that one would be Terminator 2, the arcade game, and it wasn't for kids, so you had to ask for the step stool if you couldn't reach the guns. Which, when I was little,
Hilarious.
I asked for that step stool. And then they had Killer Instinct 2 at one point. They had Addams Family Pinball. Once Cruis'n USA was done, they put Hydro Thunder in there. So yeah, I spent so much time in that place. I fucking love it.
You ran a Facebook group that was memories of that arcade, didn't you?
I posted on Facebook that I have the only picture that I'm aware of the arcade. Which,
oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, in high school we had a digital camera that what it used for memory was a standard 3.5 or 2.5 inch disc. It's like that you put in your A drive in your computer, and that's how it saved your pictures. And I went to the mall with it and I took a picture of the arcade. So this is before digital cameras and everything. So yeah, I don't know if the mall has pictures of the arcade. I might ask them. I can definitely just go up and be like, do you have any pictures of the arcade? Because I love the place.
You should post on the mall's Facebook page, because you love doing that.
Uh, I did post it in their Throwback Thursday at one point. So they have the picture that I took, but the
Yeah.
picture that I took is at the end of the life of the arcade when I found out they were closing, and that's why I took a picture. And there's no big two-player game in the center of the arcade where like Cruising USA and Hydro Thunder was. Instead, that was at the end of their life where they had a pool table for sale. So you couldn't play it, but it was just for sale. And like, why would you guys do this? And they must have just thought people are going to buy it. Somebody's going to buy it. So we're going to make like $1,000, and that's better than like $5 in quarters.
We're gonna make $1,000 and stay open for one more month.
Yeah, and then they left, and then like the Candy Man went in there, not to be confused with the is that the
Sugar
Santa?
Man.
Yeah, the Sugar Man.
That would have been a perfect segue back.
It's true. Speaking of Sugar Man, Dan,
Speaking of segues,
I'll let you do the very first slab, which I am happy to say that all five. Actually, I'm going to say I have 5 comic books, which I did mention earlier. How many do you have?
I have I've got 3.25.
Okay, cool. All
I ripped
5
one in half.
all 5 of mine have been slabbed.
Okay. My third one, or I've got 3, and then my quarter, I just started to look it up and I was just like, I give up and stopped halfway through.
Spoiler, Sugar Man is not a notable character. Even mine, I think, are like some of them might be a stretch. There's the notes are non-existent for any of them. I own all 5, so I was just like, I'm going to use these, and I can give notes of why each one of these means something to maybe the listeners or to me myself.
So first up would be Generation Next #2.
That is my very first one, yes.
Yes, from Marvel Comics, April 1995. Scott Lobdell story, Chris Bacalo and Mark Buckingham cover and arts. The CGC notes don't even mention Sugar Man.
They do not mention Sugar Man, no.
Not even Sugar Man appearance, let alone first appearance of Sugar Man.
Yeah, which it will be a note that I'll make after we're done here about that.
You're gonna go yell at the CGC.
Oh no, I have 2 personal notes for this one. Normally I would look up internet notes, but this time I didn't have to look up internet notes. I have personal notes.
Census says there is a grand total of 9.8s. 4 of those are CGC SSs that are signature series.
Which is
So
bizarre.
Yeah. So of the 9 people that actually give a crap about Sugar Man, 4 of them care enough to have gotten one signed by somebody. 1 9.6 and 2 9.4s. That's it.
For a total of 13 slabbed Generation Next #2.
Yes.
Now, Generation Next, the series was only 4 issues. These are dollar bin comics. When I did my researching, none of these are available on eBay as a CGC, CBCS, or a PGX. Shocking. Yeah, that's what I expected for when even I was looking at the census. Some of them was like, oh, I might see these, but I'm definitely not going to see these on there.
Yeah, it's unlikely if there's only been 13 slab that one of them's on eBay randomly right now.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I looked at Generation X issue 1, 3, and 4, because I guarantee you the census would be pretty close for all of them. Because if a person is getting issue number 2 signed by an artist, a writer, just anybody really in the comic book world, I would assume that they're submitting all 4 issues all at the same time.
Yeah.
So here are my personal notes for this. This comic, Generation Next #2, is the first cameo appearance of Sugar Man in silhouette. Generation Next #3 is the first full appearance of Sugar Man, because in the second issue, as I've mentioned to Dan on Hey Kids Comics, the radio show, I ripped out I have multiple copies of this comic. I ripped out the first appearance page of Sugar Man from my an additional issue of this that I had. And it's inside one of my comic boxes as the sleeve page, or it's like a carrying box. Anyways, in this issue, all you see is like an outline of him and then like white eyes. Where in the third issue of Generation X, you do get to see him like not in the shadows. So that would be my note, where this is the first cameo appearance, if we're going that route. Because does a black silhouette count as an appearance of a character?
That is a great question. And
this, I would consider this an actual cameo, not like that bullshit that CGC and everyone else has for Wolverine.
But like, is it even a cameo if you don't know what the character is? Like, you literally just see a shadow. I would say a cameo, like a panel cameo works fine, but like usually you would actually see the character or something.
Yeah, in this, I'm not gonna open it because it's gonna make a lot of sound, but in this comic, it's it's a few panels of the silhouette and then zoom ins. I think it's Ilyana Rasputin is running away from Sugar Man with another character. It might have been Blink. I'm probably wrong on that. And it might not even be Ilyana.
No, it was.
It was okay, cool. So
Yep.
she's running away from the Sugar Man, and she says it's the Sugar Man's gonna get us. She mentions him, and the Sugar Man, or just Sugar Man, I believe he hisses a few times. But I don't recall if he talks. In issue 3, he definitely does talk. And you get to see that sweet Sugar Man tattoo on one of his forearms. That's a big old red heart and just says sugar on it. Like,
nice.
Sugar Man's ridiculous. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
This is from the heart of the worst period of comics, 1995.
Is that the worst period?
I don't know, the worst period since 1985.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I don't mind this. I think a couple years later is where X-Men really, like X-Men in general, because that's what I'm the biggest fan of, really falls off. I don't even know what happens after Age of Apocalypse. I'm my trade paperbacks are in order by sagas or like crossovers.
Yeah.
Mine for X-Men, I'm gonna look really fast. It goes Days of Future Past, Executioner's Song, Fatal Attractions, Age of Apocalypse, and what crossover event or like saga do you think I have right after Age of Apocalypse?
Second Coming.
No. Well, Second Coming's like it's in there, but it's a few trade paperbacks forward. It is House of M,
and that was from like 2005 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like a decade later.
Yeah.
So X-Men really fell off for a decade for me. I'm sure if I looked it up, I could see stuff that I actually enjoy between them, but not right now.
You know how I can tell, like looking at the cover to Generation Next and just the X-Men logo makes me go, I don't want to read this. Like
this is right before the logo. It tilts and it gets a 3D like blocky version of this logo. So once it hits that is where I don't want to read it anymore. So, because yeah, when I look at this, I'm like, oh, it has the flat X logo. I'm okay with that. Once it tilts a bit, and then I wish I knew who the artist was because they drew like Gambit and I think his name was Joseph, who was the Magneto clone, and just got fucking horrible. And I don't want to read it. Oh, that was Onslaught, the Onslaught period,
the Onslaught saga.
Yeah, where is that? I own that. Where
you own? Yeah, I was gonna say you own that.
Oh, there it is. It's on my to sell shelf. I read it and it's fine. Anybody want to buy those 4 Marvel Epic books? Yeah.
I'll give $2 a piece.
I was gonna say $10 a piece. I have no idea how much they're worth.
I was gonna say make a deal with you before you look it up.
It's true.
My next book that I had picked, but you ruined it, was Generation Next #3.
Oh, okay.
Because and I tried, Adam. I want, for the record, I tried.
Okay.
I stayed up until midnight last night researching, and I tried, but like I couldn't find anything. So like all I have for Generation Next #2 is a solicit plot like of what happened. Like there's nothing about what happened or what Sugar Man's appearance in here is that I could find. And so I was like, well, I might as well do the next issue because it's likely that that's an important issue as well. And according to you, I was right because it is an important issue because this is the actual first appearance of Sugar Man. So
tell me the census. That's what I'm excited about now. This is new.
This is what you're just saying. Yeah. So first we'll just go, once again, Marvel Comics, May 95, same credit, Scott Lobdell story, Chris Bachalo and Mark Buckingham cover and art. No mention of Sugar Man, period. And the census, there's 8 9.8s, no SSs.
Really?
2 9.6s and 1 9.4. So it's almost right on with the previous issues.
So that's 10 in total, right?
11.
I can count.
Math is good.
Yeah, no SSs, really?
No SSs.
Why? Did you see the cover for Generation Next #2?
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's I'm looking at that guy. I think his name is Mondo. It's Mondo holding some girl by the hair, and he's blowing off her face. And I don't recall if that happens in the book, even though I just looked through it because I'm a bad host.
I forgot to talk about my generation, my experience with Generation Next number 2.
Ooh, okay.
Which is on the we went on one comic trip during the summer when things were decent and it was okay to go do stuff. And we went to CBA, and I was flipping through the bins in CBA, and there was, do you remember, did you point out that this was his first appearance to me, or did I find it and ask you?
I remember us talking about it. Was I there?
Yeah, you were there. This
Okay.
was
Yeah.
was I there?
You probably said like, "Oh, Generation Next," and I was like, "Oh, that's Sugar Man." Probably really excitedly too.
Because I think they had like 2 or 3 copies or something, and they were $2 a piece, and I was gonna buy them, all of them. I was gonna buy all 3 because I was like, this is Adam's favorite character. First appearance for $2. I should buy all of these. And then I looked around, went flipping through the bins, and couldn't come up with anything else to buy. So I just put them back rather than wait in line to pay for these dollar comics.
That's fair.
So that is my only experience with Sugar Man.
Man, I should take the silhouette of Sugar Man and print it up and get that tattooed somewhere.
You should get a heart with sugar on it tattooed as an homage to him.
Holy fuck, that's even better idea. It's not gonna be as big as his. But yeah, where would I put that? I can put it on my like.
No, you got to put it in the same spot.
Oh my god!
Make it a true homage.
Somebody's done that. Somebody's had to have done that. If
not for Sugar Man, just because they love some girl named Sugar.
Sugar. I love a girl named Sugar. She was the host on YTV's The Zone.
I was just looking up the cover on eBay as you were talking about it for Generation Next number 2, and there's lots of them for sale, but only one that's like first Sugar Man.
See?
The rest are just like straight Generation Next number 2.
I'm clapping because I love that person. How much is he selling it for? Is that an inflated price?
No, he's selling it issues number 2 and 3 for $6.
Okay. Yeah. Did I mention that the eBay, the cheapest eBay one I saw was $1.24 plus $7.52 shipping
for Generation Next number 2?
Yes.
Oh, I found a better one. I have one here that's $1 Canadian plus $5.50 Canadian for shipping.
Oh shit! What? How come I didn't see those? Oh well.
It's an auction. Maybe you weren't looking at auctions.
Oh no, I always look by it now because auctions are like flaky.
Yeah, you know that this is not going to go for over $1.
Oh no, God no. I've yeah, you go to any comic book store and if their shit is organized, you're gonna find all 4 Generation X's right side by side with multiple issues, if not like just a dozen. And some places that package like full sets, I've seen this packaged together.
One that has Generation Next 2 and 3 for Sugar Man actually has 3 watchers.
Oh.
But I don't know why. Right?
Maybe he's gonna show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everyone's gonna get Sugar Man fever.
Sugar fever. That would be the greatest April Fool's joke in history, as if he showed up. God.
It's like when Shatterstar showed up for Deadpool 2, I was super pumped. Maybe they'll bring in my Sugar Man.
Hope not.
Yeah, let's do my number. This is my number 2. Let me just scroll down here. My number 2 is The Uncanny X-Men, number 393. That is from May 2001, Marvel Comics. The key comments for this issue, there is one. It has a Magneto appearance, which this is like Magneto's in this a lot, so I don't know how you would say it's a Magneto appearance, and it's an X-Men book, so I call bullshit on that. You can't be like, guys, there's an X-Men book out here. Fucking Magneto's in it.
Holy shit.
And this is since I have the census in front of me, it is a Scott Lobdell story, Tom Raney and Scott Hanna art, and this is a Ian Churchill cover. The census for it is 24.9.8 universals. That's just a standard grading.
Okay.
Correct? Yep.
3
signature series for it. For 9.6, you have 3 universals, 1 signature series. 9.4, you have 1 signature series. And this issue has a total of 33 slabs available. So the cover of this, this is I don't know how many parts of the story it is. It is Eve of Destruction Part 3, and this has Professor X. I think it's Professor X. Or this might be Magneto, because Magneto was bald in it. Fuck, I have no idea who this is on the cover. I think it's Professor X. Anyways, he's kind of wrapped up in wire and just like laying there. Mr. Man is dying slowly. Anyways,
You literally have this comic
I have
book,
no
but
idea
you
who's on
don't
the
know who
cover.
this character is.
It's a bald man with like clothes on. It's probably Professor X.
But like he's not wearing Professor XE clothes. He's wearing jeans
Professor X wouldn't wear
with cargo pockets.
Yeah. Did Rob Liefeld draw this cover?
Right.
No, it was
Right.
Ian Churchill. Churchill, what are you doing? Anyways, my personal note for this is the first appearance of Baby Sugar Man, and he is
Oh
so
my
fucking
God.
cute. I know that when we discussed, I think it was it off the air or on the air, about how there was a Baby Sugar Man. I told you, like, I have the issue. I have no idea what it is. And all the online sites, for whatever reason, mention Baby Sugar Man, but they don't say what comic it is.
And I forgot completely about Baby Sugar Man. But this one that I just looked up has so it says Uncanny X-Men 393 from 2001. First, the evil babies.
Yes, because Baby Apocalypse is in it. Baby, there's like 5 different baby villains in it. It's one panel. Sorry, it's one full page panel, I should say, or just one full page. It's all whoever the mutants were in this issue. I don't know if they're like jumping time. I just had to find the page so I could see it. Sugar Man has like little horns, and normally he has like a full head of hair. He just has like the little baby spit curl in the center of his forehead going up, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so cute.
So right now on eBay, you can buy a 9.2 signed by Scott Hanna and Tom Rainey for $75 Canadian plus $25 shipping.
You found a CGC online?
Yeah, there's
Fuck,
one on eBay.
what is with my searches? I searched I was going from lowest to highest. That's what the issue was. I'm an idiot.
So did you want me to send that to you so you can put a bid in? First Sugar Babies, come on.
What does it say on the actual? It just says Magneto.
It says Magneto.
Ah, okay. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. But no, I'm okay. 75? No,
Yeah,
no.
75. Now, if it had said first Baby Sugar Man, you would have been in though, right?
Yes.
You would have totally been in.
I would have jumped on that like a sugar baby on sugar candy.
Wow, what an amazing.
I don't know.
Oh, you're the worst.
So that's the Uncanny X-Men 393 first Baby Sugar Man. Should be like Sugar Kid, maybe.
Yeah. Or like, why not just call him Sugar Baby?
Oh my god, Sugar
Hey,
Baby.
Sugar Baby.
Dan, what is your number? This be your number 3 then, right?
Yeah, my number 3 was X-Man number 7.
Okay, I did not pick that one. I do have an X-Man comic, but that is not it.
Sure. So you know how I picked this one?
How?
I found a list of all of Sugar Man's appearances and I randomly selected it.
Oh, is that what you did? So did you
completely at random?
Did you get that from comicvine.gamespot.com?
Comicvine.gamespot// Sugarman sucks apostrophe.
Yeah, they have a good listing of 217 Sugarman appearances.
This one only had about 50.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was my pick number 3. CGC Notes, Marvel Comics, September 95. So very shortly after his first appearance. Jeff Loeb story, Steve Gross, Phil Hester, Matt Ryan, and Bud LaRosa. Oh, Bud LaRosa and Keith Williams. This one does say Sugarman appearance.
Ooh, nice.
The census has 2 9.8s, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, wow, nice.
And so, you know, that I like to try to find what the plot of the issue is so I can like contribute something about the plot, right?
Yeah.
So I typed into Google X-Man number 7 plot, and it said, did you mean X-Men number 7 or X-Men 37 or X-Men 700 or X-Men 777?
Yeah, that
and
sounds
I
about
said,
right.
No. And there was one hit, and it took me to a chat board. And So the only thing I could find about this comic was a comment posted on a chat board. So thank you, Jaublia, for the comment, quote, well, what was the point of all that, end quote.
Oh,
Yeah. That's when I gave up. Like when I couldn't even find a plot other than that quote. I went, yeah, what is the point of all this? I'm going to bed. It's midnight.
so that's all for your third pick.
Yeah, I don't have anything more. Yeah, I started to look up another issue but then I just gave up.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to my number 4.
Sure.
All right, so my number 4, and I'm going to give you some time to start your typing so you can look it up as well. My number 4 is Magneto number 19. This is from August 15th, 2015, published by Marvel Comics. So this is a Cullen Bunn story with art by Paul Davidson, and the cover is by David Yarden. The census for this comic is there is one total. It is for a 9.8. 2 reasons why I picked this book. The standard cover is amazing. It is a picture of Sugar Man from the bottom looking up at Magneto as Magneto is wrapped around his tongue, struggling to break free. This is it's an amazing cover. Inside of it, Magneto goes to Sugar Man, I can remember, to get his help, and Sugar Man basically it's like, yeah, like come this way, and he gives Magneto some information. And I think Sugar Man's about to blackmail him, and Magneto just throws a bunch of metal poles like through Sugar Man's eye in his mouth and leaves him for dead. Sugar Man does not attack Magneto in this comic book whatsoever, so the cover is really deceiving, but the cover is amazing. The second thing about this cover, or about a variant cover, is it is the first appearance of Gwenito, which you knew
who we just talked about.
Yeah, which that is a coincidence. But I do have this comic, and the funny thing is I think Cody grabbed me this issue because whenever we went anywhere comic book shopping, we could only find the Gwenito cover. We could not find the standard cover anywhere. And I believe he was in Vancouver, and he went to a comic book shop and they had the Sugar Man cover. He's like, fuck, Adam needs that. And he texted me like the moment he saw us, like, do you still need that Sugar Man cover of Magneto? And I'm like, yes, I do. And he grabbed it for me. And thank you, Cody, for grabbing me this amazing cover. And yeah, that is Magneto number 19. Dan, do you have any input for this one?
I do have some input. That was actually on my list of comics that I was going to look up. Like that was on my short list.
Okay.
And if I had stuck with it for an extra 10 minutes, I would have looked this one up.
And you would have been like, shit, this has stuff to talk about.
But I didn't. However, you can get a Magneto number 19 with the good cover that you like, signed by Cullen Bunn, on eBay right now for $7.53.
Ooh,
plus shipping.
Is that a graded version?
No, obviously
not. I was gonna say for $9. Yeah. This one, I don't think I even saw CGC of the Gwenito version that I obviously I didn't look that hard apparently. I guess I should have been sorting from highest price to lowest price, but beforehand when I would find the comics on eBay, I was trying to find deals for people or cheap versions. But yeah, it makes sense that there's tons of those older issues just at a lower price, and I just didn't scroll down far enough. But there wasn't a lot of results to begin with.
Yeah. Now, did you check the census for this one?
Yeah, I just said it. It was 1.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
I honestly want to submit something to CGC that has not been submitted, so I can have that one and be like, this is me. That's on my fucking shelf right there. Nobody else has this comic book. Do you have any comics that are CGC that there's only one of?
I don't think so. I think that everything I have, see, what you need to do is get like something like an indie comic or something, because then nobody else is going to. Here's what's ridiculous and weird is that Magneto 19 CGC on eBay, I scroll down like a little bit and Walking Dead is coming up. Like Walking Dead is coming up, first appearance of Ezekiel. Like, what does that have to do with Magneto number 19?
Yeah, I know that eBay was just like, we didn't find this, but you might like this. And I'm like,
but you might like any of these 700 very unrelated things.
Yeah. How much was your copy? Was like $8? signed?
Yeah, 753, I think I said, and it was also best offer. So
What?
yeah,
You can send that into CBCS and get their signature series.
yeah, you could. I would never do it, but you could.
Yeah. The cheapest one that I saw on there not signed was $3.85 with $5 shipping. And I think that was within Canada.
Was that for the good cover?
For the Sugarman cover, yes.
Nice.
So since you have nothing, my next my next issue is X-Man 97.
I was gonna say I already did number 7.
So if you look up X-Man, it's X-Man 97 for 1997. It's the annual for that year. And it is, yeah, I guess it doesn't even have other than 97, it doesn't have a month that it was released, but I assume that would be in December, November, correct?
I have no idea.
Okay. The CGC notes on this one is 1997 annual and wraparound cover. Sugarman is on this cover. Just his hand, and then the rest of him is on the back of the issue.
That's hilarious.
And this takes place, I believe this is going to take place in the Age of Apocalypse universe, because it says together for the first time, Nemesis, Sugarman, Dark Beast, Nate Gray. So it's all Age of Apocalypse characters. And I believe Nemesis was called Holocaust at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, this issue has 3 overall CGC slabs, 2 9.8s, and 1 9.2. All of them standard, not signature series. So people have sent this one in. I'm looking at mine. Mine looks fine, but I would say mine looks like it'd be, well, like the corners are sharp. I'm not seeing any like thing wrong with it. It'd be over 9, maybe. I have no idea. This is a Christopher Golden story with Raman Bernardo art. So this one on eBay, I found it for $2.75 plus $4.98 shipping.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, so it's, after seeing this, I looked up online. I'm like, how come nobody's made clear comic backboards? So I'm like, nobody's made that. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, I'm fucking wrong. People have made clear comic backboards. I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to buy a bunch of these just for issues that have wraparound covers, or for issues. A lot of comic books have movie posters or video game ads on the backs, and the backs of comics are, in my opinion, like that's a time capsule. The front of a comic is beautiful art. The back of it is a time capsule. And these standard boards are hiding the history of what was being advertised at that time. It's like watching a movie that your parents recorded on VHS. Like, let's watch this. And then the commercials hit. You do not fast forward those commercials anymore because you need to see that. That's nostalgia running to your brain.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, as you started talking about this, I immediately could picture like the Silver Age ads that were so prevalent, and the video game ads. There were Got Milk was a big one in the 90s comics, right?
Yep, you had MJ, Michael Jordan on the back of the comics, like holding his ball with like the mustache, and even Buffy did that at one point, or Sarah Michelle Gellar. I remember, well, if you go on eBay and you search up hackers posters, there was one person selling the poster that I think says like hack off, like this date, and it's Annalena Jolie like doing like a handgun, and so her full body, but like it just like probably like 4 inches high, and I'm like, I want that page because it's a part of marketing that you can't get anywhere. And I finally was buying I think it was an X-Force comic that I needed, and on the back of it was that ad. And I'm like, holy shit, here's the ad. Unfortunately, this is like, it's either the 3rd or 4th appearance of Deadpool, so it costs a little bit of money. And I don't like Deadpool. I was just filling in those gaps for my X-Force comics. And I'm like, I know an issue that has it. I know an issue that has it. I'm not buying another one of these so I can cut that poster off the back of it, because it costs like, it was like $10, but I'm not paying that. If I could figure out what other comic books had it, I would buy another one.
Here's the thing. Wouldn't you pay $10 for a good, nice poster?
The size of a comic? Like maybe if it was pre-framed for me.
Here's what you need to do. You need to go through every 90s comic and catalog all the ads and create a database.
Oh my god. Well, yeah. I need clear backboards too now though. That's gonna be a like later tonight search, maybe tomorrow search thing. But yeah, I want clear backboards now. Not a bunch, just enough. But then I'm gonna look through all my comic books for like those awesome like backings. It's gonna take forever.
I wonder if any of the Hey Kids guys has any of those backboards. Seems like something Marty would have.
Yeah, I would assume. Oh yeah, I was gonna say maybe they. What if they don't know they exist? But I assume that they're all could be like, oh yeah, I've never seen them, but I assume that those exist.
No, I literally saw somebody post, and I think Marty maybe even commented on it because it was about a Captain Canuck sketch cover that was on the back of a book. Because what Chapter House did for a while is they would print a blank cover, like a blank back cover. And so Andrew Thomas would use that to sketch at conventions and stuff. So you'd have the regular cover on the front and then the blank cover on the back.
When they do the blank cover on the back, it's flipped upside down, right?
Correct.
Okay, I was gonna say, oh my god, I would lose my mind if it wasn't.
Why though?
Why? Because the staples are on that side. So when you have a comic bag, like you can see the staples, it would just look wrong. It's like watching somebody drive a European car in town, seeing them on the wrong, like them sitting in the wrong seat. So they're in the passenger
Yeah, I
seat.
try to ram them
You try to ram them?
every time. Get back on the right side of the car, jerkwad.
So that was my number 4. My number 5 is Deadpool and the Mercs for Money.
Oh,
Yes, issue number 4, released in July of 2016, Marvel Comics. This is the Ron Lim variant cover, which is an amazing picture of Sugar Man, very upset. Looks like he's breaking through a wall with a kicking Deadpool behind him holding 2 swords, and someone else behind Deadpool. At first I thought it was Cannonball because he doesn't have legs, and it looks like he's coming through a portal. At first I thought he was like blasting off, but I have no idea who that is. And for the census for this issue, we have 4 total, with 3 being a 9.8 and 1 being a 9.6, both Universal non-signature series books.
sweet. I'm just on eBay right now, and that is a pretty sweet cover, though.
It is an amazing cover, and I don't remember where I got it. I might have bought it off eBay, but yeah, it's an amazing cover. Sugar Man looks so sad.
He does. He's got like this. He just looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah, his normal mouth, like if you looked at it upside down, that is how his mouth should look. And yeah, it's a.
Did you just do that to make me flip my phone, and you would know that I was doing that?
Well, I did it to the comic book holding in my hand, but yeah, like he needs to turn that frown upside down and become the happy Sugar
Come
Man I
on,
know
mister.
and love.
And he looks really sad. And yeah, I don't know who that other character is. Now, there's one for sale, $3.85 or best offer and $5 shipping.
And it's variant edition. Like, this is a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you're a Sugar Man fan. And Deadpool, it's fine.
I found one even cheaper, but the shipping's higher. $2.50.
Oh my god.
$20 shipping though. And this is so I believe Ron Lim, didn't we bring him up last week or last episode? Because didn't he do the Gwenpool cover, the first Gwenpool?
Ooh, he might have. I don't have my notes in front of me.
I'm pretty sure that he did. Actually, I use the same Word document and have all my notes for everything that we've done here, all just at the tip of my fingers. So let me just scroll on up. Ron Lim cover. It was correct.
Great art, Mr. Lim. Love it. You did Sugar Man justice, other than him being a little scared. The other thing that I noticed too is in the original first and second appearance of Sugar Man, his tongue looks like paper. So it's like literally paper thin. This one does have it, like, it has depth to it. It kind of looks almost like a Venom tongue. So I don't know if that was something that just got changed over time, but his tongue looked like almost like a paper scarf. Like, it looked like origami almost. Like, it had a really neat look, where now it just looks like a normal tongue.
Was it functional though?
Yeah, he wrapped it around Magneto in that one, where it's still, yeah. His tongue was very sharp. Like, it didn't bend, it folded. So it did look like paper, like there was no curves to it. But over time, people just drew it as a normal tongue, which I believe it was always supposed to be a paper razor sharp tongue.
Interesting.
One of the other things I want to mention is that I already mentioned that he has 2 action figures. I have both of them.
Yeah.
He also does have a Hero Clicks figure, which, if you know what Hero Clicks is, it's like a tabletop game, and there is a Sugar Man figure for it. Super expensive, or else I would own it, and I don't know why. It's expensive, and when I've gone to hobby shops or card shops, they'll have like hero click bins, and I'm like, oh fuck, I wonder if they have Sugar Man. And I go through them like, oh no, Sugar Man. They'll ask like, oh, is there a certain figure you're looking for? And I'll be like, Sugar Man. And they're like, who?
I was gonna make a searching for Sugar Man joke, but
Oh, the man with the guitar.
yeah.
I've never seen the movie. I've only ever seen the cover because when I've been searching for my Sugar Man.
Search for my Sugar Man.
That is the Sugar Man, or just Sugar Man, Marvel's greatest forgotten hero. Actually, I know two comics that you and I did not do that we should
Yeah.
have done. We should have done The Death of Sugar Man, which yes, and then there is
Yep.
the not rebirth of Sugar Man. Sugar Man, I have the issue in my CLZ comic app for where he just randomly appears, which is the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5, issue number 39, where Sugar Man just randomly appears in it, and there's no reason for why he's alive again, because I don't remember what issue he died in, but I need to get it. Was it Bishop who killed him?
You tell me. How would I know?
Oh fuck, I can't even remember. I have a couple of X-Men issues where it's like X-Men, I don't remember the issue number, like it's further. But anyways, it's two covers of Bishop in it, and Sugar Man's in each of them. I've never read them. I just bought them because they were Sugar Man issues. Yeah,
Hilarious.
there is a death of Sugar Man and then a reappearance of Sugar Man, which neither one of us chose that one. The Spider-Man, there's nothing special about that issue, and I doubt there's anything special about the death of Sugar Man issue either. But it would be interesting to see if anybody graded them, to see the notes.
But we're not going to.
No, I'm not looking it up right now. Hey Dan, what is our next episode about?
You know, Adam, I was thinking, since we did your favorite character this week, maybe we should do my favorite character next time. So how about we do Captain Canuck?
Captain Canuck. Ooh, I know some things about Captain Canuck. I'm excited. But I will say Sugar Man is not my favorite character. He's my favorite villain. Shatterstar's my favorite character.
Well, we've done your favorite characters already anyways, so.
This is true. I got the shit out of the way. All right. Thank you for listening to the Sugar Man episode. If you like Sugar Man, let us know. Email us at akindofgarbage@gmail.com with your comments, your love of Sugar Man. Tell us stories about Sugar Man. Don't forget to visit akindofgarbage.com, which I believe right now is forwarding people to a website called allmylinks.com, which just has all of the links for associated with our website, including our friends, the friends of the podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at A Kind of Garbage, Facebook at A Kind of Garbage Pod, and also our Patreon page, patreon.com/A Kind of Garbage, which eventually we will be adding a comic book section. What were we going to talk about?
Ooh.
I don't know yet. We're something, right, Dan?
Sure, if you say so. Sugar Man.
The Sugar Man podcast. Ooh, there are 215 issues. If we do every single issue and talk about them, that's an idea that we are not gonna do. Finally, you can find myself on Twitter at Presto Adam, and with Dan, Martin, Chris, and Chris on the Hey Kids Comics radio show Friday nights at 8 p.m. on Trent Radio 92.7 CFFF FM. Dan, where can the listeners find you?
You can listen to my music discovery podcast on Spotify. It's Gather Round the Listening Post. That's Gather Round, just round, not a round, just round the listening post.
With that said, I'm Adam Bishop.
I'm Dan Collins.
And watch out for the tongue of the Sugar Man.
Hey, Adam, do you know what really crinkles my comics?
No, what crinkles your comics, Dan?
First appearances. We've done this so many times, fake first appearances, but specifically this time, the first appearance of the comic characters' creators on the cover of a comic being touted as a first appearance.
Just on the cover, right? Have they been does that count if they've been inside the comic?
I don't know. It depends on how hard you're shilling this thing.
Tell me a story.
The specific issue I'm talking about is a new-ish issue of the Ninja Turtles, where I don't even know if it's the actual cover or if it's a variant cover, but it has Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in, I believe you see them through a window in the background. they're standing in a window in the background of the comic, and it was up for sale as the first appearance of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird on the cover of a Ninja Turtles cover.
I hate it. I hate everything.
I hate it too. It's so awful.
Where's my first appearance of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby on comics now? I need to know.
I mean, I guarantee they're there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when Stan Lee passed away, there was a big run on one comic where he was on the cover. It was a photo cover with him on the cover. I can't remember what it was, but everybody was like, get your first appearance of Stan Lee. And it was just ridiculous.
Even like if it was a photo cover, it's not even artist rendition. It's just a picture of him. He's been in other like forms of media as a photo, so that wouldn't even count. It'd be like a first picture in like on a comic book cover of a photo of Stan Lee. It's like no one cares. Like
it shouldn't like does his mom have his first appearance, which is his baby photos?
Or the placenta.
I don't think she still has the placenta.
Oh, some people
I think
freeze
that
it.
would have gone bad by now.
Who has that first picture of Stan Lee as a baby?
Probably his kids at this point, unless it's been sold on eBay.
Oh, by his daughter.
Wah, wah. I'm currently looking up first appearance of Stan Lee to see if I can find what that issue is. But instead, it just brings up all the signature series on his first appearances because, you know, he signed everything.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of, I posted it in our chat group for Hey Kids Comics radio show about how I forgot that I had bought the IB4E comic done by Sam Keith. And I said like, oh, like fun fact, first appearance of the Max, like true appearance. And Martin said like, I think it was an advertisement in that book. He's like, it doesn't count. He starts yelling at me, which is hilarious. But yeah, I bought that comic book for $2 because it was a Keith comic. And then when I looked it up, that's when it said like, oh, first the Max in it. So I don't know if it's an advertisement for like an upcoming book. No, what if it's original art of the Max that doesn't appear through in the future of the series? Does that count?
I don't know. I just don't know. But you see prototypes listed like, you know, first proto Hulk because it's a character that they used once and went, wait, this is good. Let's make this into a different character, but that actually is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it was Marvel Age number 41 that it has Stan Lee on the cover. There's a CGC SS signed by Stan, 9.2 that's up for $600 right now. But yeah, when I saw the cover, I was like, oh yeah, I think that was it.
Okay, I was gonna say I have a bunch of Marvel Ages. I have 98, 102, 116, and 127, all amazing X-Men covers.
I was gonna say, how do you know the exact issues that you have?
Oh, I have my CLZ app open. I literally just like scroll down.
There's a 9.6 signed by Stan for $878 that has 24 watchers.
Oh, they're like signed by the man. First appearance of Stan Lee in comics. First autograph. Well, not first autograph, but yeah, I can see people wanting that.
Marvel Zombies, eh?
Yeah.
You can get just a regular issue for $37 or best offer.